Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me, as always, is Erica and Matt.
What's up, everyone out there in podcast land?
What's up?
We have such an exciting episode for you this week because we did this episode in person, socially distanced.
We went to
man.
the Underworld.
We did.
It was amazing.
And we got to talk with our new friend, Jackie.
She's the best.
Honestly, she is the best.
She's a lot of fun, actually.
The most fun.
We drank a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I drank a lot.
We had crazy delicious seltzers.
Yeah. Which, like, I'm not afraid to say it. I fucking love seltzers.
Yeah. I mean, really good beer, too. Don't get me wrong.
No, yeah. Don't.
Those
yeah.
seltzers were super fun.
Yeah.
The colors were gorgeous.
And they have a lot more alcohol than your typical seltzer.
Yeah. She's making an Imperial seltzer.
Yeah. I can't wait to fuck with that.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, a lot of times I love when breweries are food focused, right? Like, I could totally tell that Jackie is a foodie,
Oh, yeah.
right? So she was like, I want my beer to have, like, you know, food characteristics,
Right.
you know?
That's partly why she was super excited with the seltzers. She was really pumped to start trying all these crazy different random like things, like change the color and all these fruity things to put in the seltzers.
Yeah.
It was definitely mostly the colors.
And I think,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Jackie's a hustler. Like, she works her full-time job
Yeah.
and then comes to the brewery. And,
Yeah.
like, I respect that. That's, like, not that I don't respect anyone that works at the brewery, because you work way harder than I work in my real job. Like,
and
honestly,
then she
like,
works a normal job on top of that. Like, damn, girl,
Badass.
you rock.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had an awesome episode last week.
Yeah.
I loved it. Ryan, what did you think?
It was great.
Yeah,
Super
for sure.
salad.
So we've been drinking lots of great mass beer this
Yeah.
week because
You
we're
better
getting
believe it.
right and ready for.
Mass Beer Week.
I am so excited. And I don't know if you haven't heard, we are interviewing our good friends Penny Pinchers live on Facebook and Zoom
Do-do-do.
on March 11th,
From 7 to 8 p.m.
which is conveniently my brother's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Come listen. I'll give you a shout out on it. But I'm so excited because Mass Beer Week is such an awesome opportunity to highlight all the great breweries in Massachusetts. Not just the ones that we're going to be highlighting during the freshman class, but it's going to be a celebration of all the mass beers.
All the mass beer.
So if you want to stay up to date with that, there's going to be a ton of resources. We're going to try to share as much as we can. But I'm going to be honest with you, our friends, the Mass Brew Bros, are going to probably do a way better job sharing it.
Not
so
just
like,
that, but Mass Beer Week's page.
yeah, Mass Beer Week's
So
page.
if you follow them on Facebook, they have all the events right there. So you should go follow them.
Do it. We dare you. You will. We know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I've been drinking a lot of mass beer. I got Gilded Skull's new lager that was brewed at Castle
Oh my God.
Island.
Talk dirty to me. It is so good.
Erica, talk about it, because you mentioned, like, you had a great it's a pre-prohibition style lager.
Yeah.
And we called it, like, what did you call it?
It's like a macro lager.
Yeah,
But
a macro lager.
better. So if you like the Bud Lights and, whatever else, have this because it's like that, but better.
Yeah.
And you're supporting, a craft brewery, a local guy who's trying to put his lifeblood out there in beer.
I always appreciate those kind of, macro-like beers, but at a brewery. Austin Street.
Right.
Austin Street did one. I think that, what was it? I think it was like after like a Miller or something.
Yeah.
It was a Miller latte is what they called it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely delicious.
Oh yeah, and I know our friends over at Liar's Bench do Bub Light, and that's like one of my
Right,
favorites
right.
too.
Yep.
So I am all aboard for breweries doing these like pre-prohibition macro style beers,
Yeah.
because like honestly
They're so
they're
easy
so
drinking.
good, and
Yeah.
like you know what you're getting, so it's like it's really good, and
And it
just-
appeals to everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone likes good, easy drinking beer.
and it really attributes to kind of like the talented brewer that Neil really is. I mean, we are lucky we get some of his underground stuff that you guys probably don't get. Sorry. But like, he is such a talented brewer. He put out a lager that like fucking slaps, in the
Yeah.
words of Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like, he makes IPAs that
amazing.
I enjoy, and
Yeah.
that's saying a lot, because
Yeah.
I love a good IPA. No. But other than that, I went to Notch this weekend.
Got the
For the
goodies.
first time in so long, so long, and I got their Salem Lager, I got their Kolsch, their Pale Ale, and then what was it? Their Scotch Ale. What's
Oh my God, yes,
what's it called? I don't know.
So the wheat heavy?
No.
It
But
wasn't,
No, I think it was a
wasn't
Scotch.
the standard or
No,
whatever.
no, it was
No.
a Scotch, heavy Scotch ale or something like that.
I'll figure that out real
he's,
quick.
He's looking for
Why
it.
are you where I am doing that? Why don't
while
you guys
he
tell us what you're drinking?
Ryan, what have you been drinking?
Well, I drank what Matt gave me, which was the Notch, which was awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute.
Scottish
And-
sweet stout.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Psycho candy. I
Oh,
was right.
Psycho Candy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Psycho
That's a
Candy.
good one. I like that one.
They were all good.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's all you've been drinking though?
Oh, actually, yeah. Actually, that is basically all I've been
Oh,
drinking.
that's nice.
Props to Ryan because I only gave him 4 beers, so he only drank 4 beers.
Yeah, I've been
Good for you, bro.
I've been very busy. So yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to consume alcohol.
We're still proud of you.
Thanks.
We love you.
Yeah. Erica, what about yourself?
Just a variety of things, really. So let's see. I had some Shoveltown. I've been having a lot of Shoveltown lately. Just I have like a variety of beers from them, and I've just going through them. Just such solid beer there. Had some squash porter from Gentilly. I don't know if they still have it. I bought this a little while ago, but it's freaking delish.
You didn't happen to have the Super Crunch from Shoveltown?
Oh yes.
Was that Imperial peanut butter?
Yes.
Yeah. Was
Oh
it
my
good?
god, it's one of the best peanut butter beers out there. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Like it's just so well balanced. It's not super sweet. It's not super roasty or I don't know. Sometimes the peanut butter just gives a weird flavor. However they brew it, they just do such a good job.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, basically just mass beer. I've just been like drinking a ton of mass beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really nice. We're so lucky with all the amazing breweries that we have here in the
Yeah.
state. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, shout out to Notch. We went there, and it was super easy to pick up beer, no contact, and I always just feel safe when I go to that particular brewery. And not that I don't feel safe at other breweries, but I mean, this one, I just think they've
nailed it. Yeah.
and they continue to be one of the leading examples on how to be very safely
Yeah.
ran brewery.
For sure. For sure.
But I'm so excited. I've been seeing on Instagram a little bit of sneak peeks of certain beers being brewed.
Oh, right. Yeah, I do want to talk about those. So Pink Boots beers are coming out.
That's all right.
So the first one, anyways, that I saw was from Bentwater.
Yeah.
So
They always seem to be first to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Good
don't
for
know.
them.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah.
So theirs is out now. I'm sure there's more coming out shortly. Usually, like we talked about, there's like a wave coming out right around March 8th for National Women's Day. And then there's another wave kind of right after that for all the beers that were brewed on International Women's Day. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes out.
Yeah. So that beer that Bentwater brewed is called Tell Me I Can't, and it's a New England style IPA.
Yeah.
And it's been out for
Just like a
couple
week,
days.
maybe.
No, just a couple days at this
there.
point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math because we
Yeah.
record these things before they come out.
So what? But yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm so excited because it's pretty cool to see what all our brewery friends are doing with Pink
Yeah,
Boots, and
yeah.
it's a great money proceeds go to Pink Boots Society.
Yep. Support women in beer.
Yeah, and I mean,
What?
we talk about all these beer events that we aren't able to have. This is one of the ones that can directly impact Pink Boots Society,
Yeah.
by just simply
Buying beer.
purchasing beer.
Yeah.
which is like we'd do that anyways.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's awesome. So we touched upon it earlier. We are taking part in Mass Beer Week. But before we go into the episode, I just wanted to shout out. We interviewed Adam from Castle Island talking about Mass Beer Week, and that's going to be coming up next week. So I hope you guys
Tune in for that.
Tune in
to
for
learn
that.
more.
Yeah.
Get hyped.
hyped.
Get hyped from.
I'm so hyped for it. But yeah. Until then, Ryan, should we just go to the episode?
Damn right.
I think so. Follow us on all social medias. Go to our Patreon account. And you know what? Continue to support Mass Beer because that's why we do it.
Yeah. Killing it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Well, we are here for our first interview in person in quite a bit of time.
Quite a bit of time.
And we kind of were doing the responsible thing. We waited till numbers got a little bit better. in
Socially
Massachusetts.
distanced.
We're still socially distanced, and
yeah.
we cleaned everything. But this was one of my favorite breweries to come to because I am like a inner goth kid that you wouldn't know about. My
Right,
parents
right.
don't know about it. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'm wearing all black.
He dressed
No,
up for our
I dressed
Yes,
up.
yes.
Yeah. And no, I love this location because when I first came here, I came here for an event that Edson was doing for Got Hops, and I was like, this is
right.
like such a great place, and I ate way too much breakfast food. which is usually the opposit. Like I
said,
usually drink way too much, but
yeah.
I ate so many donuts that day.
I think you drank
Solid.
a lot too.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, no. And you've been here.
I've been here
that.
for a few times. Yeah. Amazing beer. Just a great space.
And by all those hints, you should know that we're at River Styx in Fitchburg. Yeah. Right. Everyone knew that.
Everyone. Definitely.
The Underworld.
The Underworld.
Yes.
And we're here with Jackie. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this today.
Thanks for having me. This is excellent.
Yeah. We're all looking around because I feel like you look in this place and you just notice a different thing.
There's just always something to look at in every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a very long time to see it all.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't think I've seen it all.
Yeah. Like, oh, crap. I just noticed that. So we start every podcast by asking our guest their role at the brewery and their first memory of beer.
Wow. So my role at the brewery, I am an owner and a brewer here at River Styx. And my first memory of beer was winning a growler from Wachusett Brewery at Downtown Days in Ashburnham, Massachusetts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know what a growler was. So I was very interested to learn that there was a nearby brewery where I could put beer in it.
Nice.
And so we did the tour, and it started there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. That's really cool. Obviously, was that the moment in time that you were like, I want to work in beer forever?
No,
or?
that was the first time I drank a beer I liked.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It
that's
was-
exciting.
It was Wachusett Blueberry, and I just thought it was the neatest thing. And my husband and I went home and started trying to make a version of that because that's what we're huge foodies, and we always want to make the things that we like to eat and drink.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so we started by hollowing out watermelons and putting Bud Light in them and then tapping them.
That's awesome.
How'd that work out?
It actually worked out pretty well. We learned that Bud Platinum did better than Bud Light.
Good to know.
And,
Pro
know,
tip, pro
if you
tip.
let it sit for a little while, it got a really good watermelon flavor, and it was
Yeah.
neat. It was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Talk about life before River Styx. What was that? What was your career?
The original plan, if
Yeah.
you will.
Well, I'm a mom, I've had a career from a very 30 years now. So I started out pretty young in my career as well, and really, just a mom working a corporate job and
Yeah.
taking care of our child.
Which is like the hardest job.
Yeah.
Kudos.
But when she was about a junior in high school, she started looking at colleges, and I started looking at apartments in towns where she was looking at colleges.
Yeah.
I was really freaked out that our only child was flying the nest. And it kind of lined up with, if you talk about, the blueberry, Wachusett blueberry story and the hollowing out of the watermelon.
Yeah.
Basically, my husband and I were getting more serious about home brewing, and we were home brewing on the stovetop at that time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we had been for a while.
Did you ruin any stovetops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't make good beer on the stovetop,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was extremely frustrating because we could make good everything
Right.
in our kitchen. So, my husband said to me just off the cuff one day, "You need a hobby." And I was like, "I have a hobby. It's brewing beer. We've been brewing beer." I was like, "What do you think about me turning our unfinished basement into a mini commercial brewery?"
Whoa.
And
Nice.
he usually says no to my wacky ideas. But this time he said yeah. So I started researching and investing in some equipment down there.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What year was this around? I'm just trying to gauge.
Well, let's see. She graduated college 4 years ago. So it's about 6 years ago.
Wow.
Wow, not that long ago.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome.
That was before spike brewing systems were really big and all that stuff. So what was your homebrew setup like?
Yeah, we actually did get a electric PID
Nice.
controller from, it wasn't Spike, but we're friends with the guy who owns it, Mike. I can't remember the name of his company right now. But basically, we set up, we had a full electric brew house with temperature control on the hot side and cold side.
Very cool.
And we had control for the first time. We were able to repeat beer and make beer taste delicious. It was exciting.
Yes. So at what point, well, I guess your goal in the beginning was to maybe open a brewery, but at what point was that really serious and it's going to happen?
Yeah, we really thought that we would open a brewery maybe sometime after our daughter graduated college. We were just going to keep on having fun with beer and doing research and brewing. And then at some point I was like, well, we spent a lot of money. Well, actually, you know what happened is our accountant came to us and said, you guys are spending a lot of money on beer and beer equipment. And what is all this beer that I'm seeing?
Yeah.
He kind of like asked us about it. And we said, well, we'd like to open a brewery someday. And he said, well, you should get your LLC right now, and we should start putting money towards, your goal, and you'll give you some benefits. So we did that, but that wasn't really what kickstarted the early brewery opening, earlier than planned. What it was is we had invested all that money, and after we started talking about it, I said, we should try to get licensed so that we can sell the stuff we're making in our basement and, share that with people. Because a lot of people were interested in trying what we were doing. We were on social media. And,
nice.
We did get our LLC. So we had the name River Styx Brewing since 2015.
Wow.
We were a home brewer with the LLC of River Styx Brewing. And we were putting a lot on social media.
Yeah. River Styx, where's the name come from?
We live on a road that starts as River Styx Road in Ashburnham, Massachusetts. So really, when we were looking at figuring out the name, we were driving home.
Yeah.
And we take the River Styx home every day.
Yeah.
And it just dawned on me. I said, what about River Styx? Like, we knew we wanted a focus, because at that point we had been doing specific research and development when visiting breweries. We had changed our whole brewery jumping experiences to R&D, like true R&D, because of what our accountant was telling us.
Yeah.
So we would go and we would ask breweries, like, what are the top 3 things you would tell somebody who's going to open a brewery someday? Or, I'd always try to learn everything I could about their equipment, about their process, about anything they would talk to me about.
Right.
And a lot of them said they didn't have a great direction from a marketing perspective, and it was really hard to name beers, and they didn't really know what to name the next beer.
Yeah.
So we knew we wanted a direction, and we were talking about it, and then we saw the street sign, and that was the end. We were both just sold on the whole
It's perfect.
idea.
Yeah. And it works really well with your theme, too.
Oh, yeah.
Was a theme beforehand? Was that after?
Once we developed the name, I sketched up the first logo. It looks a lot like the one out there now, and we started getting into the whole theme.
Yeah.
For our listeners who don't know what the logo looks like, can you just explain it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. His name is Charon. He's the ferryman. He is known in Greek mythology to usher the dead across to, their final, basically, into the underworld, essentially. So, like, they would die and they would get ushered across the river into the afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
I know we're not huge Greek mythology geeks or anything, but
it seems
up a bit. Well, we were always we're always kind of looking through the stuff to figure out what we're going to name something or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's interesting. River Styx, obviously not spelled the conventional way. Is that an homage to a band or something, or is it just?
Well, it's the name of the road, right?
Yeah, the name of the road, and
no, but the spelling, STYX.
That is how it's spelled.
Oh, get out! Really?
That is how it's spelled. That's
cool.
how it's spelled in Greek mythology.
Oh, cool! I didn't know.
Yeah. But it's also the band. I think the band paid homage to Styx, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't know.
The River Styx in Greek mythology. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's cool.
That's cool.
So you opened. When did doors open here in Fitchburg?
July 1st, 2017.
Wow.
That's pretty quick. It's like 2 years from getting the name or whatever.
Yeah, and we were homebrewing on our stovetop for years too. I mean, the watermelon was years before the brew house. We've been brewing for a few years on the stovetop, trying to make it work.
How long have you been homebrewing for then?
Really, that was those couple of years, on the stovetop and then right to the basement. And once we got the brew house set up in the basement, I took that logo I sketched and I crafted up a sign that says, "Welcome to the Underworld," because it was our basement.
Right.
So that's where that came from. And we just started, brewing a lot. Our daughter moved off to college.
Yeah.
And that was something that helped me keep my mind off of her flying the nest. We just brewed and brewed and brewed. Yeah. And we were spending money on it, so I tried to get it licensed. I tried to get our home brewery licensed. Yeah. And I went through the process for about 7 months, and it was rejected. And they said they no longer license breweries under a living space. And even though we had seen others that were approved recently, basically those others, when they took their pictures and submitted them, they didn't show that they were under a living space. And I wasn't like a loophole person. I've never been a loophole person. And I showed them full videos of everything,
Yeah.
But we realized that, that wasn't going to happen. And the person who rejected the application said, well, we're going to keep this open for you for 2 weeks. And you can either cancel it or find a location to buy or lease, or move it out of your living space. Like, it can't be under your living space.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. And we started looking at the different options. And I said to my husband, he's never really loved his corporate job, and I've loved every job I've ever done. Sell popcorn, I like it. I don't know, I'm just a happy-go-lucky.
Right.
But I'm like, you could leave your job. I'll stay at my corporate job, and, we could do this.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, so he's our head brewer. He works here full-time. I
Okay.
still have a corporate job.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yep,
you
yep.
about the corporate.
I'm the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
I have so much energy. It's scary. So I need to stay
You probably need that for this, though.
I need to stay busy. Need to stay busy all the time. So yeah, I mean, we've been open for 3 years this July. It'll be 4 this upcoming summer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like you've been open forever.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
That's good, though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm curious to know, it's always interesting when people have children. Did they think it was cool right away? Or were they, Mom, this is lame?
It's so funny. She was in her junior year of college when we were in the construction phase for the brewery. And
Right around drinking age.
yeah, and she came home for the summer, and we were working 20 hours a day. We were like in pits digging. We had lost weight. Like I must have lost 40 pounds. Both of us were like flat out crazy trying to get this place open. And she came home and she's like, I can help. And she got right into the construction project. And she did such an excellent job. She spent the whole summer, like basically in the core 4 of folks that were leading the construction project, and got really heavily involved. And it was funny because her friends used to say, "Oh my God, it's so cool that you're working at a brewery and your parents own a brewery." And she would come to me and she's like, "Mom, they have no idea that I've been washing kegs for 12 hours."
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like, I'm like,
Yeah, they probably think it's so cool that you're just pouring
Glamorous.
beer, you're
Right,
drinking
right.
all day. Yeah.
I said, hell, let them think that it's a rock star life.
Right.
Sometimes it's pretty rock star, but
Yeah.
most of the time you're cleaning,
Yeah.
realistically.
Yeah, no, definitely. Does she still help out here at all, or?
She does on and off. She's graduated college 3 years ago. She has a full-time job herself and a family and a house. She just bought a house. So,
Exciting.
yeah, she's busy, but she's helping out here a lot too.
That's cool.
Yeah. Was it important to stay in this area of the state, or because it was close to home, Ashburnham being, 15 miles away, not even?
Yeah, one of the reasons we wanted to open a brewery was because we didn't think there was really a lot of good craft breweries in this area, And Route 2, we live in Ashburnham. We love where we live. We don't want to move. And we felt there was a need. We're like,
For sure.
we really need a craft brewery that we can go to in this area and something fun to do.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of fun stuff to do in this area back then. I mean, it's getting better and better. But,
Still.
really,
Yeah.
we wanted to be in this area for that reason, and we're highly dedicated to the city of Fitchburg, and we will be staying in the city of Fitchburg for at least 8 more years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's talk about July 1st, when you guys first opened. What was it like? What were the beers that you had on tap, and are any of those beers still on tap today?
That's a great question. It was complete pandemonium in the morning.
Did your POS system work? Because
Yeah,
we
right.
talked to a brewery who said our POS system didn't work.
We didn't know we could unplug the handhelds,
Oh, that's exciting.
the laptops. First of all, we didn't even know if we were going to open. My corporate job, I'm a project manager, and I do not let dates slip.
Yeah.
So when we signed the lease in October 2016, I said we will open on July 1st, 2017. And I meant it. I meant it. And I can tell you what, that I told you there was a core 4 that were running the construction project. The other 3 in the morning meeting. Every day we had a morning meeting, afternoon meeting. We're in the morning meeting, they're like, but Jackie, we can't do it. We're not going to make it. We can't make it. And I said, we are going to make it. This is what needs to happen. And I'm pushing. And they're like, we're not going to make it. And, we did, but we were painting the bathrooms that morning.
Oh,
we had a second inspection.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, we found out like 2 days before that our painter had painted 4 of our sprinkler heads. So when the fire department...
they were like, no way.
The fire department came, should have been a routine inspection, no problem.
Yeah.
He comes in, he flashes his light up in the ceiling, and within like 2 minutes, he says, nope, you fail. And this was going to be 4th of July. It was like, it was let's see, so July 1st, I don't know what day of the week that was, but it was coming up on like the 4th of July weekend.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
And I had to convince the building commissioner and the fire commissioner to come back to do a second inspection. I said, listen, I will drain this building and fix these things.
Yes.
And I will pay people to come in the night, right? I'm like, will you come
We'll get
back
this done.
tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.? I literally bought myself, and I think it took me 3 or 4 hours. I was just begging this people to come back.
Oh, God.
And
You're probably just like, all right, just go.
It's just fine.
well, it's so funny. Our daughter Desiree played a role in it because when I was talking to the fire guy, and we walk out the hallway because he's, walking to check something, and she's sitting in the hallway crying.
Oh, no.
And I was like, that actually worked to our favor.
Yeah, right. That's a great job.
It's
Thank
terrible,
you.
but it was good timing that we walked past you at that moment, because we were all so devastated that
It's
we
always
went
hard
through
work.
all that. Yeah,
Right.
It's very emotional trying to get a business open, and I mean,
Imagine.
You're paying rent on something that you're not getting a return on, so it's not,
That too.
And we just felt like we had to get open because it was like, unless you get over that final hump of getting an inspection, like if they had said no, we would have went through another round of having to reschedule things and other things to find. It was like every round, maybe they're going to find something else. You know what I mean? We just wanted to close it out. So we did it though, yeah. So the lights that you see in our tap room, they were my vision.
They're beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
They're my vision from before we opened. And we had all kinds of issues with getting them hung. And like the first time we hung them.
Well, explain them first. I want to get other people. Yeah.
So we have 100 lanterns hanging in our tap room at different heights. We've alternated them to 4 different heights per quad of lights. And so there's a shorter one and a longer one, and then 2 kind of in the middle at different distance. This works a lot better in a taller ceiling. Originally I had designed this for a barn where I could have I could have made much wider height differences.
Yeah.
But I was pretty set on it, and I just wanted it to feel surreal. When you walk in, you're in this
In the River Styx kind of
special place.
Yeah.
And so they have lanterns, light bulbs in them that look like real flame lanterns. But when we first hung them, the glass was clear, crystal clear, and you could kind of see the way the light bulbs work because they're pixelized. So it looked a little pixelized. And then they sent us these light fixtures for the bathrooms that were frosted. And I threw a light bulb in it, and it didn't look pixelized. It looked a lot more real.
Yeah, it looks real.
So we pulled all these down. So we pulled 100 lights down from the ceiling.
Geez.
And if you could look at them right now, I mean,
They're beautiful.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So we pulled them all down, and then we frosted them all by hand with a spray paint.
Oh,
Wow.
And then we put them all back up. And I had never seen the lights lit until, that day that we opened. I got the bathrooms painted. We had the approval on the inspection, so we knew we were going to open. I went home, take a shower, come back, and they walked me in the front door and turned the lights. And that was the first time I got to see the lights, so I cried like a baby.
I was going to say,
my
that
gosh.
must have been a moment.
It
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
On that note.
it stinks to cut out at this point, but we need to get it.
I could talk for hours.
This is what keeps our lights on.
Right,
so
right.
Here's a word from our sponsors.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service where you can get some of the dopest brewery t-shirts out there. I'm talking breweries from Dallas, San Diego, and even our home area of New England. And you might ask, how do I get my hands on some? To get your first box for $5, click the link below in our description, or head on over to our website, breweroots.com. Remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. All right, so we asked before, what beers did you have on tap that day, and are those still in rotation today?
We had about, I want to say somewhere between 9 and 12.
Oh, that's a solid amount.
That's aggressive. I love it.
Oh no, that's not. We had more. We had 12 taps, but what I was going to say is we had about 9 to 12 core recipes that we had been brewing as home brewers.
Gotcha.
That we brought into the breweries. Like as our first batch.
Very cool.
So we had 12 taps and we had 12 of our original beers on draft. One of them would have been Zeus.
Which you still brew today, right?
We
I'm pretty
do.
Sure. Yeah.
That's like your
Awesome.
flagship almost, right?
I think a lot of people think so. It's definitely our. We've sold more Zeus than any other beers here at the brewery.
And what is Zeus?
Zeus is an IPA.
Okay.
It's a balanced, what Scott likes to call, my husband likes to call a balanced IPA. He was very much against hazy and hoppy IPAs when we first opened.
Nice.
And so, and I was very much for them. So it was a tough one. He does.
It seems like you kind of get your way sometimes. Like you have the brewery in the basement, the hazy IPAs.
I do get my way sometimes. Yeah. Well, he was actually more into the hazy IPAs, and then a little bit more into them. And then he went up to this course called the Art and Science of Craft Brewing in Vermont, and he stayed out there for 2 weeks. And it was on the Sterling College campus, and they had Jan Paul and Anders Kissimer, which are some like OGs in the brewing industry, teaching the class. And they also had Sean Hill involved in hosting the class at his brewery and teaching the class.
Yeah.
Those are three people who kind of know what they're doing.
They really, it was a pretty great experience. I wanted to go too as a brewer.
Yep.
But I had my corporate job and I actually couldn't. So I studied all the materials when he came home. But he stayed in a dorm for a couple of weeks, and he came back from that brewing class much more against the hazy IPAs, because he was always it was always about balance, and I think Sean's a lot about balance.
Yes.
And, I think that it was just something he really didn't want to do. So Zeus was a what he called a balanced IPA, and it's been very popular here. That and we have several that we do that way. Zeus, Poseidon, Apollo, they're all that style, and people either love that style or they don't. Some people will drink it and say this is not an IPA because it's not. It's
not right.
Well, it is. It's not juicy or whatever.
But then there's people that they like the hazy ones and they like those, and then it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But I still think there's a place for the hazy ones.
For sure.
Oh yeah, there's 220 other breweries in the state that are doing it. Yeah.
I love them. I drink them all the time. It's my jam.
She drinks one right now.
I'm drinking one.
We're all drinking one right now. Yeah.
I'm not actually.
Oh, you need another one.
Yeah.
Should have done that.
When you guys opened, obviously 2017, it was IPA. We didn't have we didn't have seltzers. Sours were kind of making their heads were poking out a little bit.
Maybe.
Lagers and pilsners certainly weren't as present. Are you guys? Would you guys say you're known for your IPAs here, or? I know you guys have some killer stouts that I love.
Honestly, stouts.
Yeah.
Most people do count us with the stouts number one. That tends to be the consumers come for that. And we've had some acclamation. Is that the right word? I don't know. We've been acclaimed or, I don't know, awarded.
Sure.
I like the word
recognition.
acclamation. Yeah.
There you go.
I liked acclamation. I
We
thought
should
that was a good
edit
word.
a bunch of that out. We got recognition for the Typhon IPA in a national thing that they did on, I think it was like craftbeer.com or something.
Oh,
it was
cool.
like a national survey of all beer styles and all beers
Wow.
across the country. And just people could write in about their favorite, and they made a list. We got second place
Oh my God.
in the entire country with our
That's
IPA,
awesome. That's
double
awesome.
IPA. So
Not bad for a little brewery in Route 2.
Right.
I mean, we really, and the things that have happened in this place since we opened in 2017 are just unbelievable.
Obviously, we're in a COVID time right now, but you guys have some awesome events I know going on right now, and you had awesome events going on in the past. Awesome sound system here. You have live music here, correct?
Yeah, we have a sound guy. He's actually the sound engineer for the Boston Museum of Science.
Oh, nice.
We love music as much as we love food and drink.
Yeah.
So we try to source really good, talented artists.
Yeah.
It's something my husband does, and he's great at it.
Yeah, you
Nice.
certainly do. I've seen a couple bands here that have been awesome. So
Yeah. And even outdoor porch now, or patio, if you will.
Yeah, in the summer. We
Yeah.
hope to have that every summer. During COVID, we had the patio, hoping to get maybe a permanent installation out there for 4 seasons.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We have a small patio in the winter all the time, but I want to expand it.
Yes.
My question is food. You've been mentioned food a couple times. Is that how you get inspiration for your beer, or is it just something that you just love? I mean, who doesn't love food? If you don't,
Right.
you're a psycho, I guess. But
A lot of times food does influence our beer. We both love to cook. I mean, we will work a full day at the brewery, and even my corporate job too, and then go home at midnight and cook scratch pasta and scratch sauce.
Oh my God. I envy that. That's just, I don't have that energy. It's amazing.
I do.
I've been super into making pasta, and we can talk about that on another podcast.
I will
Yes,
talk
yes.
to you
Yeah.
for hours about pasta.
We can do that. All right,
I
Jackie,
made
after
pasta
this.
with a rolling pin and my hands for many years. I just got my stand mixer
Love it.
because I deserve it, and I have all the parts now. But I will tell you, I earned that stand mixer and all those pasta parts by doing
yeah.
it by hand. But anyway, we
Nice.
love food.
Yes.
Yes, it inspires beer and cocktails, and I mean,
Yeah.
we're loving life. We want to live our life, and we want to have good music and good environment and good food and drink.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Has your food love impacted what you guys are serving here food-wise? I know you guys have pretzels and stuff like that, but what else is on the menu here?
Absolutely. We look for partners that are local, and we look for partners that are excellent. And even in our accounts, I mean, if you go to someplace and you have our beer on tap, it's because it's at a restaurant that we think is excellent, and that
Noted.
that's something that you'll find. You will not see our beer in a restaurant that we don't think is excellent, at least not right now.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to
Yeah.
grow, and we're going to expand. We actually kicked that off. We'll probably finish the project by summer if we're aggressive, or maybe a little later next year. And, that might actually change things a little bit, because we probably aren't going to have the same oversight over every account that we're in anymore.
Yeah.
But right now, if you go to any account that our beer is served, they also have excellent food. And
Love it.
we love food, and we use it to inspire a lot of our beers. A lot
Yeah.
of, like right now, we'll be releasing a like a new series on our seltzers. We've started doing seltzers.
Yeah.
And
Exciting.
the new series called Chimera.
Okay.
The whole Chimera seltzer series will be 10% alcohol, and will
Wow.
be
That's
modeled after one of our favorite cocktails.
Oh, cool.
So the first one's going to be a Blackberry Bourbon Smash cocktail. It's
Oh,
going to
hell
have
Yes.
lime, bourbon, blackberry, and basil. But there's so many cocktails that we like to make.
Oh,
and we're
I'm
gonna-
so glad that you're doing that.
That could be like,
that was
so,
like,
that's amazing.
I noticed on the menu that you guys had a pineapple and coconut seltzer, and Ryan and I actually tried to make a pineapple coconut seltzer, and it sucked.
I'm going to try ours.
It was
didn't go
I got to
well.
try it because no, it's just I think pineapple can be a difficult flavor to achieve, and especially with coconut, unless it's like a pina colada or.
But that's really cool. I don't know
Yeah.
if I've seen 10% seltzers.
Oh, I know.
So and done in that fashion. So
We're trying to
That's
change
cool.
the seltzer.
Yeah.
game. I believe in seltzers. Like, I see the way they're hitting the market, and I believe in it. And I think that it's, our first seltzer series is called Pegasus, and Pegasus is different than Chimera. It's going to be, all the Pegasus are 7%.
okay.
And the idea of the Pegasus seltzers are that they're supernatural beauty with all natural ingredients. So we're
Gotcha.
using the things that I've been wanting to use in beer for a long time, but I just couldn't do successfully, which are these natural ingredients that make these like supernatural colors, right? Like dragon fruit or
Oh,
blue
yes.
Oh,
spirulina.
beautiful. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you see all the foodies out there making these gorgeous desserts, and I've
Right.
been so jealous. And even
Yeah.
some breweries have done some of this,
Yeah.
right? A lot more with like ciders maybe, but
But even like craft cocktails that you see that are vibrant blue, that are
Exactly. I
beautiful.
mean,
Yeah.
activated charcoal. I've
Yeah.
been playing around with activated charcoal for years. Like, it's something that I'm very interested in.
That's cool.
And so with the Pegasus series, I was like, I can make a clear seltzer any color I want.
Right.
And it made me really excited.
That's really cool.
So later on, I'll pour you a Pegasus pink and a Pegasus blue.
Love
Yeah.
it.
The pink one is dragon fruit colored, so it's like hot pink, and it's flavored with mango.
Delish.
The blue is blue spirulina and blue star thistle, so it's a really vibrant blue,
And it's natural, right?
all natural
Yeah.
Yeah.
and good for you, and flavored with toasted coconut and pineapple. Gives
Yeah.
you like a pina colada flavor.
Right, and it's going to be better than
Yeah.
ours.
Yep.
It is good.
I feel it. Yeah.
I just love the process of brewing, and I want to know what you guys are brewing on here. What system? How many barrel?
We have a 10-barrel brew house. It
Damn,
is-
you guys put out a lot with it. That's long days for you guys, I'm sure.
We brew a lot. We're
Yeah.
putting in a lot more barrels. We've been at capacity from the day we opened.
Good
my
for you.
God.
Good for you. That's,
That's awesome.
Even through COVID, we've never stopped brewing at capacity. I mean, like,
Wow.
we have no more beer to give you guys.
Yeah.
That's great. Kudos.
And my husband was
Yeah.
in logistics, so he's really good about timing and like timing ingredients, timing products,
Yeah.
so it is the maximum possible amount you could produce on a
Holy cow.
10-barrel brew house with 4 fermenters and
Yeah.
2 brights.
Nice.
Are you guys self-canning here, or do you guys have a mobile canner
We
coming?
use Ironheart.
Love them. Yep.
Yep.
We love them too. Yeah, we used to use a independent for a little while, but they really have
Well, they have it dialed in.
they have the experience. So they have all the machine. They have. It's not like just one machine. I mean, they've got them up and down
Yeah.
the coast. They maintain them with maintenance plans, and
Yeah.
they just have the expertise we were looking for.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Your cans available for distribution? Do you guys distribute, self-distribute, or?
We currently self-distribute,
Yep.
and we are selective about the accounts that we're able to
Yeah.
distribute to, because our tap room has been selling, 90. It's been selling all the beer, but then on the other hand, we want to distribute for marketing because we want to keep
Right.
on feeding the tap room, we want to keep
Right.
on feeding the brand.
Yep.
So we take a small piece and we offer it to can and keg accounts that we've hand selected. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the best liquor stores, it's the best bars.
Just around
And the
Massachusetts,
best restaurants.
around this area.
The way we've handled the distribution is to make it easier on ourselves. We have generally some rules. So the best bars and can accounts in Worcester and Boston. That allows us to
Perfect.
go, to Worcester one day or Boston another
Yeah.
day, or a couple of days. So that's generally the rule, but we've expanded out to the Cape with our statewide delivery. That was a decision that we made because we deliver to the entire state of Massachusetts through UPS.
Yeah.
And that's
And
fairly
that's a
new.
recent rule.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fairly new
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the COVID. So basically, once we started doing statewide delivery, we realized we were getting a lot of orders from the Cape and Western Mass. And we're
Oh,
like,
that's
whoa, we
awesome.
totally get it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
If you're in the Cape and Western Mass,
You don't get anything from anywhere else.
it's very hard to get River Styx out
Yeah.
there unless you're going to drive, right?
Yeah.
So
And that's no knock against any other breweries down
No,
there. It's
but-
just it's nice to get variety.
you might
Yeah.
have just had a beer you liked here. You want
Right.
to
Yeah.
get it. It's
Yeah.
it's not easy to get. It's
Yeah.
a long drive.
Yeah.
So we decided to add a couple of can and keg accounts out
Yeah.
on the Cape.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
John's
just, like-
Liquor, awesome, by the way. I love them. John's Liquor, I love you.
Yay.
Hey, what's
And Berniers, I love them too.
Yes. So you're just shipping like through UPS, like everyone else, kind of. They can buy it on your website.
On our website, they can. choose to look at the menu, which is our current menu for our tap room, or the next button down on riverstyxbrewing.com is our delivery button, and that'll bring them to curbside pickup or delivery ordering.
Very cool.
Yeah. I have not done delivery through you, but I've done it through other people, and it's so easy and it's so awesome.
It's really
It's
easy.
really
It's
awesome.
really nice. People I know have started and they just won't go back. I just love it so much. So it's a
UPS?
nice feature now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To your door.
Obviously, there's a ton of negatives that's happened with COVID. Is there anything that's been positive for your brewery with COVID?
Yeah, actually. I
Good
think
to
there's
hear.
a lot of positive things that are going to come from it. I know that sounds hard to hear because it hasn't been great. I'm not
No.
trying to say that it is. But, it's forcing people to innovate. It's forcing people to figure things out. And that's something that we really like to do. So we've been taking this as, I kind of make the joke, but we were like, oh, zombie apocalypse, let's go.
Yeah.
This is our time. We've got to figure out how to survive and how to exist in this
Right.
world. And so we've actually done so many things we never would have done. And I know all these things now. I know that we can have delivery. And if you're a brewery listening to this right now in Massachusetts, you can have delivery.
Yeah.
And it's not that, doesn't really cost much to set up. You got to get some boxes and supplies and fill out an application. It's kind of a pain, but
Once that's done,
People are afraid of what they don't know.
Yeah.
And if you have Square, it wasn't that hard to figure out how to set that up. I mean, I'm not saying it's, super easy, but it's not that hard to figure out. And that's just orders that come in. So if you,
if you're already getting
aren't
orders
getting
coming
people in your
yeah.
tap room, that gives people another avenue to try to order your beer. So I think, just lots of different things we learned through these different phases. I mean, people loved the popcorn. We added popcorn as a food option because we had to cook food on site.
Right.
Which was such a stupid rule, but we won't get into
Our
that.
Board of
yet.
Health walked down here within 2 hours, and they're like, hey, I want you to get a popcorn machine. They're like, you're cooking popcorn. And I was
Okay.
like, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it makes COVID go away, doesn't food?
It makes COVID go away. And people love the popcorn.
Yeah,
People
Right,
come in, they're
right.
like, we smell popcorn. The popcorn's good.
It's one of the best smells. It's something that I miss a lot because you don't go to movie theaters anymore.
I
Yeah.
know.
You don't
And
get
people
that
do
fresh
miss it. It's
right?
kind of,
Yeah.
Oh, I bought a
yeah.
Whirly Pop
Oh,
just for that. I saw it on TikTok.
right. TikTok. It's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so before we get into TikTok, obviously,
Right.
we have some words from our amazing sponsors who I'm sure are on TikTok as well. Take it
Totes.
away, sound guy Ryan.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brew sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
All right, so our sponsors are amazing, so thank you for listening through that. And we are a little liquored up because we are now trying the seltzers here at River Styx. And we do talk about seltzers here, and I have never seen beer or seltzers this color. The only thing that is this color are the awesome drinks that I see on TikTok that people are trying to make. I drank a blue one. I mean, this is amazing. This blue, the
It's
one that
so
we made out of the
cool.
water, which I'm glad it did. Talk about the seltzer program you have here. I think seltzer does have a place in the craft world.
Sure. I'm really excited about seltzer, mainly because I've been wanting to make vibrant colored beer the way that I see all my foodie, the people I watch on all the foodie, I'm constantly watching foodie programs and just trying to, I don't know. I mean, I've been watching a lot more YouTubes, and following on Instagram, and it's really exciting to see desserts and dishes and cocktails that are vibrantly colored. And I wanted to do that with beer, but beer starts as yellow or brown, so it's not exactly
Right.
a clear color palette. And when seltzer started getting really popular, I was like, oh my God, I can do my colorful beer, you know.
Yay.
And that's kind of how I looked at it. So I immediately wanted to do dragon fruit, get that really vibrant hot pink, because it's super cute.
It's so
Yeah.
pretty.
And dragon fruit's not a flavor that's highlighted a lot. You don't see dragon fruit beer.
It's not that flavorful. I mean, it's kind
Yeah.
of like almost an earthy flavor. It's not like a big flavor ingredient, but that was sort of like what started the whole Pegasus Seltzer series. Was we wanted it to be a little kicked up on the ABV because we always do that anyway. So we're like, all right, let's do a 7% seltzer.
Yep.
And so Pegasus was designed to be 7%. And the idea of Pegasus is supernatural color with all natural ingredients. So it was ways that we could make vibrantly colored, delicious tasting, because that's just a given with River Styx. Flavor is our number one priority in anything we put out. Not that we shirk on any of the other characteristics. I mean, we're looking at everything, but if it doesn't taste good, it's a failure in our
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah.
So it was like we wanted a high flavored seltzer that was a little bit more alcohol and vibrantly colored because we had that clear color palette. I finally had the opportunity to
do
add
whatever you
color.
wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
add color to something that was clear. So yeah, we started out with our mango dragon fruit, and then immediately went to blue spirulina and blue star thistle, which are some great ingredients for making vibrant blue dishes with all natural ingredients. And for the Pegasus, my husband wanted to really make it taste. He just wanted it to be more flavorful than the first batch we did.
Yeah.
So the first batch we did was the mango, it was flavorful. But then with the pineapple coconut, he really ramped it up.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
I mean, just having that toasted coconut is such a nice flavor that you don't even really think about until you're like, oh, it is toasted coconut.
When you get pineapple and toasted coconut together, it gives you more of a tropical feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And we've been missing.
And then you get that fun color.
Yeah, and then the color. I mean, the
Yes.
color is, just bang. It's like right
Yeah.
there in your face.
Yeah.
We see breweries across the state brewing seltzers more and more. I don't know,
It's a thing now. Almost everyone's doing it.
yeah.
I believe in it. I think it's going to stay for a while, and I think it's exciting, and I think breweries can change what seltzer is, and we really want to get into innovating with seltzer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We talked off air about River Styx being known about flavor, and you mentioned it. If it's not good tasting, you failed. Part of your flavor, though, is you have super boozy beers that do not taste, and you pull the wool over my eyes.
Seriously.
I'm shit faced now. Thanks.
Sorry.
But in the
But I
best
mean,
way.
like drinking an 8% beer that tastes, like a 3.2%
or a
beer
10% seltzer that you
tastes
don't.
like
yeah.
It's like a 5.
Right,
yeah, that
right.
tastes like no
Yeah, no
alcohol.
percent.
That tastes like juice. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What is that something that you guys? There are so many craft cocktails out there that you're like, oh, this is juice, and nope, it's vodka, rum, gin, everything.
Yeah. I mean, do you think about that when you're brewing it, or is it just a happy accident?
Oh, no, it's not an accident. Here's a quick story. The
Ooh, I
other
love
day,
stories.
my daughter was having a bad day. She's 25 years old. So we go over to
25 was the worst year of my life.
Yeah, 24, 25.
Yeah.
So we go over to her house, and she pulls out every juice and alcohol that she's got in her house. And, it's not that many, but just good amount, right?
Yeah.
Puts it on the table with like a 1-gallon pitcher with a spout on it. And my husband mixes it all up, and we start drinking. And he sort of says, well, this is kind of like a Mai Tai. And her boyfriend drank 6 of them.
Oh God.
Respect.
He was in bed at 7 o'clock for the night.
I believe it. I believe it.
And, he had a conversation with her the next day, and she's like, listen, if Scott made it, it's not going to taste like it has alcohol in it, but it's going to get you. Like, you have to watch Scott. If Scott's drinking 2 of them, you should drink 2 of them, And she's like teaching him the ways of her parents, which he thinks
Good.
we're competing to see
Yeah.
who can get him more messed up. Because,
that's
we
so-
just love to entertain.
That's cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I guess I want to get a little bit more technical, but how do you get your beverages to not taste like booze.
I
with
love
so
getting
much booze.
technical. So it's all about balance. So if you think about the 4 things that make flavor, right? If you have something sour, then you have to offset it with something sweet, right? So you're thinking about what flavors do you have in there and how can you offset? A lot of times you can offset booziness with sweetness.
Yeah.
Or different things.
Right.
I mean, but basically flavors will, just like you do with cocktails or food, you're thinking about salty, you're thinking about sour, you're thinking about there's like a handful of, you know what I mean? And acid and, different things. And you're saying, how do I balance all that together on the palate so that it doesn't spike any one thing? You never want to spike alcohol or sour or sweet or anything. Now, do we spike sweet on pastry stouts? Yeah. Do we like it? No. We don't, but people do.
People do.
Right,
so sometimes you make things that people will like, even if they're not your property.
So you go into brewing almost like a chef, not a brewer.
Yeah, honestly, our goal was always to open a restaurant. I think someday we may.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But we felt like getting into brewing was an opportunity for us to, learn about running a business. And, honestly, it's kind of easier to focus on just beer
I think
than
so.
everything that would go into a restaurant.
For sure.
I'm curious what you think of this area. It's definitely underrepresented in the beer
scene.
community. Yeah, I mean, it's Wachusett and you guys on Route 2, in my opinion. There's a couple others. But what's the beer scene like, if you were to describe it?
Yeah, there's still not a lot of beer out.
Yeah, I think it's still just you and Wachusett and Moon Hill.
Yeah, we have
is
Moon Hill,
close.
which I love those guys. We have Stone Cow. We have Honest Way. We've got Brick and Feather. Depending how far you go out.
Right.
I think that's
You have to go far.
Yeah.
So,
because Route 2 is so long.
We're so spoiled that I live I can go to 15 different breweries in a 10-mile radius.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff out here. In general, it's still not as heavily populated as the city.
Yeah.
But we know the places. If anyone messages us or talks to us, we'll tell you about what's good around here.
Yeah.
And we're working with them, and we're keeping our eye on everything. And Fitchburg is changing. It's grown so much since we moved in, but there's a lot more coming.
Cool.
You will not even believe how the city changes in the next 12 months.
Cool.
I'm excited.
I love it.
Yeah. What do you
Buy
guys...
property here now.
Yeah. Oh, good to know.
Yes.
Michaela, if you're listening.
Right.
I told my daughter, she did it.
Good
It
for
was a
her.
good move.
Nice. No, just gonna ask. So, speaking of what's gonna happen in 12 months, what do you have in store in the next 12 months?
We just kicked off an expansion.
Good for you guys.
An expansion.
Yeah, so we're going to add a whole bunch of more tanks in the back.
Nice.
The main objective for the expansion is to add more beer production capabilities and to begin distribution
Yeah.
That's awesome.
more widely.
Congratulations.
All over New England, all over Massachusetts. Can expand that more, or
The world.
yeah, the universe.
Honestly, all three. We will be globally
That's
exporting as part of this. We will be dipping into other states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big expansion.
Yeah.
That's-
So like how
that's
many
awesome.
barrels is going to be your brew house?
I don't tell people that, and
Yeah.
I don't
It's a
even tell.
secret.
They ask us that on a survey, but I know that brewing is not competitive, and we are not competitive. We are cooperative in the
Yeah.
brewing community.
Yeah.
On the
Sure.
other hand, they do ask surveys about our production, and I don't think people need to know what it is.
Fair enough.
I
I love
like
that. I love that. I want to get to know you a little bit more, Jackie. I think our listeners know who you are at
But
this
we
point.
want to know even more.
Wow, what are you going to ask me?
Yeah, so I want to know what your perfect beer and food pairing is because you're a foodie, and I want to know what the top beer and food, so I can go home and have it.
Can I say wine and pasta
Yeah, you can.
I love wine
with hot
and
sauce?
pasta.
With hot sauce, like a super hot sauce.
Okay, well, you lost me at the hot sauce, but
I'm telling you what, try it.
Every weekend I have been doing pasta of the week with my girlfriend and
Oh, that's
Chianti, so it's
cute.
been. I understand.
Crazy carb person, but when it comes to beer, I guess for me it's beer and dirt wings.
Oh.
So
oh,
Yeah.
beer and wings.
dirt-
Yeah.
Have you heard of dirt wings?
No,
No,
tell
actually,
our
I have no idea what
listeners
you're talking
dirt
about.
wings. Where can we get them after this interview?
You can go to Connecticut.
Okay.
All right, we're going.
Some of the better places in Connecticut, in my opinion, is the Dewdrop or J. Timothy's. They both do dirt wings. Basically, the idea of dirt wings is that you fry a chicken wing and you toss it in sauce, and then you put it back in the fryer, and then you toss it in sauce again.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my
And I mean, come on, if wings and beer aren't good, then how can dirt wings and beer not be good? It's amazing. You can do it with a stout. You could do it with an IPA. You could do it with a sour. I mean, like, it's just great.
Sounds like it would be good with water too.
Yeah. I mean,
Dirt wings, dirt
water.
wings. Yeah, dirt wings.
So
cow.
I want to ask the question I always like to ask is, what do you want to learn more about?
Everything. I want to learn everything I can, and I know nothing.
Yeah.
It's a good attitude to have. Yeah.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. It's like, and I think everybody who brews would. Many people, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people who brew would say that. We
I
learn
think so.
lessons every day.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
People say like, you must know so much about beer. You talk to people every week. I say,
I don't know.
I know nothing. You literally, don't ask me what my favorite beer is
Seriously.
because you won't
Yeah.
like it.
Some days I talk to people and I feel like we got each other and everything, and then some days they're right over my head. I don't
Yeah.
know what they're saying. I mean, but we are self-taught. Other
Yeah.
than the 2 weeks that my husband went to that brewing school, and it took a lot of research and just a lot of trying things. I mean, when we were home brewers, we just tried to brew the same beer over and over and over again and we would make
Until you perfected it.
Yeah, well, we were just like, we would make a change, like make one change and document it. One change and document it. And that was the advice of the head brewer at Firestone Walker, because we did our R&D that I told you about, and we went and asked people like the head brewer at Firestone Walker, and the head brewer at Dogfish Head, and Sean Lawson, and Dean we'd talk to a bunch, but he's not brewer. I'm saying like
He's not talking to many people these days. Anyway.
he still talks to me. I love him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we talked to everybody we could about, anything they'd tell us.
Yeah.
And they said, like, the head brewer at Firestone's like, so many home brewers brew something different every time they brew.
I was actually going to say that's pretty remarkable. I don't know too many homebrewers that really focus and hone in on like one recipe until they perfect it. They're usually brewing something different all the time, which is totally cool either way, but that I think is commendable that you're able to kind of do that.
That's great advice.
He caught us
Yeah.
early in our home brewing experience. He was one of the first people that I asked, what are the 3 things you would tell somebody? And that was one of the things he told me. And I was like,
Oh.
wow, I was going to go brew a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of set us off on a different path.
Yeah.
That's cool. Speaking of kind of like education, are there any books or any kind of education experiences that you've had that you would recommend for others?
I mean, I'd love to do the UC Davis, or any other. There are college, courses. There's the Siebel, I think it's called Siebel Institute, which is online.
Yep.
I mean, education is excellent, and if you're a female in brewing, I highly recommend signing up for the Pink Boots. Pink Boots. I love the organization. I'm a member there. That gives you opportunity to all kinds of scholarships. Massachusetts kicks butt.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah, buddy.
It's the best one. I'll say it.
And we have a ton of scholarship money because we kick butt, right?
Yes.
So
Utilize those scholarships because I hear people
Damn it.
are not.
Yeah.
Jenna
Yeah.
tells me that.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, there's scholarships. There's all kinds of scholarships. But like for me, my dad used to read books to me when I was a child and to put me to sleep. So when I try to read a full book, I don't
you fall
usually make it.
Well, I'm jealous that you can read. No, I'm just kidding.
I can read, but I can't read because as soon as I start reading or someone's reading to me,
tough, yeah, I
I fall
get it.
asleep. So the way I learn is kind of different. I basically just take little bits and bites from everywhere I can. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually somebody that goes through the internet and I spent 4 hours every morning and 4 hours every night just reading stuff online and hearing everybody's different opinion on a process, and then saying, okay, I've learned everybody's opinion on this. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Make it work.
You're an informed consumer.
I don't know. I'm weird.
All right, you're weird. I tried to give you a compliment.
Weirdly amazing. Come on.
It's weirdly amazing. I know it.
Yes.
So, what are you drinking at home? And then River Styx.
I'm drinking my husband's sangria.
Yes.
It's the best thing on earth.
Ooh, can I have the recipe off air?
He'll never give it to you. He wouldn't even give them to me. I don't even know what hops he has in half these beers. I mean, the guy is unbelievable. I will tell you everything about every recipe and anything I know, as you can see.
Yeah.
Just an open book. But he's very quiet about his. His sangria is incredible, though.
Yeah.
We drink a lot of it at home.
I love a good sangria.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a red sangria. He keeps
Yes,
like a
yes.
like a picture of it in the fridge.
Yep.
And if it's not full, I'm very upset because after a long day of work, I just want
You
to
need
have a
one.
glass.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love sangria.
Oh, his is so good. His red sangria, amazing.
So, Jackie, I think we do these interviews so people can come to River Styx and hang out and enjoy your beer. Where
So
you
we
guys?
gotta know.
We gotta know where are you physically located and where are you located on the interwebs.
RiverStyxBrewing.com. On Facebook and Instagram, we're River Styx Brewing. On Twitter, we're River Styx Brew. Our address is 166 Boulder Drive, Suite 112. You
112.
cannot miss the ferryman on the brick wall pointing to our front door.
Unless you're Erica driving here.
Wrong side.
Yeah, we went in on the wrong side.
It's kind of hard to miss. Maybe you can. And we are dog friendly and family friendly. Dog friendly, family friendly, inside and out, all the time.
Love it.
Yep.
During COVID,
Love
always.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a dog now, so I
Oh my
love
gosh,
hearing that.
bring your puppies to me. I love them. I love the full-grown ones. I love them all. Bring them.
Yay.
Yeah.
We'll bring him next time.
We will. Well, Jackie, thank you for doing this today.
Yes.
I think we got you out on time. You know, Erica, I think it's time.
I think it's time. The last question. We always like to end every episode with, what are you most proud of?
Oh, you end every episode
Yeah,
with
we do.
that.
We do because we want to shock everyone.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Anytime.
I guess I could have listened.
Well, if you listen.
Yeah, I guess I could have listened to the end. Wow, what am I most proud of? I am most proud of my family, my husband and my daughter and my 2 cats,
Aw,
Link
yay.
and Brady. Link
By
and
the way,
Brady.
2 amazing names.
Yeah.
They're both great.
Yes.
Is Brady a Tom Brady reference?
And is
He is.
Link like a
All right.
Zelda?
I know-
Yes, it's
Yes.
Zelda and
I
Tom
love
Brady.
it.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
All right.
we're
This
sold.
full disclosure to our listeners, this episode will release after the Super Bowl, but I want your prediction.
Go
What do you?
Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa,
Yeah. I love it. Well,
Okay, cool.
we're gonna finish up all this beer that we have on the table. Literally, we're gonna take a picture
All
of this,
this
put it
beer.
on social
I'm
media.
the only one who's done. You guys are slow.
He is so good.
Ryan, you are
Ryan's
you know
next
what,
level.
Ryan? You're 25. Your metabolism's good, and you're able to do it. I'm 30 and old, and I can't do it.
Yes.
Lots of things I'd like to say right now, but let's end the episode, Matt.
Cheers.
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 All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Brew Roots. I really do appreciate everyone who spent some time to listen to our episode with our new friend Jackie from River Styx. And I do encourage all our listeners to go there. They have super safe precautions going on right now during COVID. And just, I'm going to call a spade a spade. The brewery is fucking awesome. And it's got such cool ambiance. And it's just a cool place to go. And they, not to mention, they have awesome beer. So if you want to support them, that's awesome. Make sure you tell them that we sent you. Also, go follow us on social media, Brew Roots across the board, because it also helps us out and get awesome episodes like this one today with Jackie. And until next week, cheers.